Hi, this is Gwen Reyes with the Dallas International Film Festival. I'm sitting here with LUV director Sheldon Candis. Thank you so much, Sheldon, for coming and chatting with me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about LUV. It's a really interesting story because we see the tales of like family dynamics and a coming of age story. We have our 11-year-old Woody, his uncle just came back to town from prison, not to town, but from prison, and then he goes on this journey with Vincent throughout, and then obviously chaos ensues from that point. What made it important that you wanted to tell this story?
Well, I always tell people it's a fictional story inspired by a true relationship that I had with one of my uncles when I was growing up. And it's a situation where, the movie's basically a boy's quest to find his mother, but through a crumbling relationship with someone he looks up to, his hero. But in the course of one day, the kid finds out that he's not the person he thought he was. Mm-hmm. And he basically sees an adult, as flawed. And it's that coming of age, that rite of passage that a child goes through, and we've all experienced in our lives.
Well, I think that's really hard too when you're a child and you start to see people that either you find out your parents are human being or they're flawed and they make mistakes. I think that's really, it's kind of like troubling when you realize that as a child. And you have Common in the film, and then also Danny Glover. How did you get them involved with it?
We were really fortunate. Common, we actually had sent them the script years ago. Mm-hmm. This is when he was making the biggest movies on earth. The guy's making Wanted with Angelina Jolie and Morgan Freeman, and then there's like Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale, right. And so then here comes my little tiny movie that we send to the big Hollywood management company, and they immediately say no. But the thing is interesting about the immediate no's is that in your sensibility, because you've been doing it for so long, doing it is you've been trying to do it for so long, is that the quick no's usually is that somebody didn't read it.
Right.
Or they understand that there's no money for the client. But I always knew, and I held on to that, if we could directly get to Common and he could read the material, he would be enthralled by it, because the character is such a complex individual that has so many emotional layers, and he's a conflicted person. Mm-hmm. He's a person who's literally trying to achieve something in life, and he's already at a disadvantage because he's coming out of prison. He's trying to achieve something, but then he's also trying to impart wisdom and information and knowledge onto his nephew, who up until this point into his life, Woody in the story is 11 years old. He hasn't had a male figure.
Right.
So that character, Vincent, the uncle, is dealing with a lot. And so I knew once we were able to get to him, how would he not be excited about it?
Absolutely. And I think any actor would want to take on that kind of role. It's multifaceted and it has these different levels. So after that, after the initial no, how did you go about from that point?
Well, I began to stalk Common.
Good.
Yeah,
I approve. I would too.
I knew his gym. I knew his Whole Foods.
We like to call it research and not stalking anymore.
I go with stalking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just say what it is.
No, I didn't stalk anyone. I've never stalked anyone, by the way. But anyway, we're getting lost on a tangent.
I know. I
of
was
stalking.
like, we can just keep going.
It's like, well, who would you like to stalk if you could stalk?
I know.
One
That's
person?
my next question.
I think you would probably stalk Justin Timberlake.
Oh, I would.
Whoa.
I have.
Your eyes changed.
They did.
You went Hunger Games on me.
I did. I had my bow and arrow. Yeah. I saw the prize. I was like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win that.
That what? What is Justin Timberlake?
He's the what is that? The parachute. The parachute prize.
Oh, my leg is bleeding. Oh, please send in opium.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's
I
fine.
did that on
I'm
purpose.
Sorry. I was just.
I made you laugh though.
You did. It was great.
Okay, so we were talking about. So you stalked Justin Timberlake. Jennifer Lopez. I was crazy about her.
We could take care of that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're off stalking. Okay.
Again, it's research.
Oh, how did we go about getting come? So I was really fortunate that one of my producers, Gordon B. Jelonic, he had a relationship, like a working business relationship with Common's manager and producing partner, Derek Dudley. And so it literally came down to the ninth inning, and I got a phone call that basically said, listen, we remember this script. We loved it. You know, the other side of the management wasn't excited about putting him in it. The timing was off. But if you can literally get Sheldon to drive to Philadelphia tonight from Baltimore and convince Common to do the movie, he'll do it.
Man.
So
That must have been really like a lot of pressure on you.
oh, it was a tremendous amount of
Were
pressure.
you like, when you were driving, you were like, what am I going to say? Like practicing, like in the shower?
I mean, I think it's something where, I mean, I've been in LA for so long, like really, I mean, I always tell people I've been working on this movie basically my entire adult life. And it's just one of those things where you just really believe. But don't get me wrong. Yeah, I was nervous. Hell yeah, I was nervous. I mean, it's common. I mean, I used to write term papers to his music in my dorm room, you know, and so it becomes a point where you have to separate the fan within yourself with being an artist. And, you know, and he's looking to me as the filmmaker as, you know, this is a great script on the page, but do you have the ability to tell the story on the screen? And, you know, it's funny, in that meeting, I said to him, I said, listen, you know, this movie is my homage to an Italian film called The Bicycle Thief. Right. And it's, you know, I saw that resonated with him. And after that meeting, it was 2.5 hours. And he was like, listen, I really think we can create something special. So I knew I had it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Knew, yeah.
I think the great thing is that I think, like we mentioned before, but I think any real artist and any real actor really wants to do that. And then you coming in and being the writer director of it and telling your story. Were you ever while you were making the process of it, either writing it or directing it, did you ever feel like maybe this is too personal?
Not too personal, because I think it's really important. You hear people say the adage, write what you know. And what's interesting about write what you know is you still can write sci-fi fantasy and you still can write historical, you know, biography. But writing what you know is basically writing characters that feel like and have the essence of people you know. Yeah. Because they become very real on the page.
And that resonates with the audience.
And it resonates with the audience. And so for me, it never was too personal, because I only knew my uncle for a short period of time. And it was at a time in my life when I was a very young kid. So I basically took that relationship and that was between us when I was a kid, and I basically created a fictional story of survival and pursuit, and, you know.
Well, and all the things that we want to see, like audiences want to see, that it's the simpler stories are the ones that are the best in a way. Like when you get rid of all of the stuff and you flesh, and I'm sure when you were writing it, you were kind of like having to pick and choose what was going into the film.
No, definitely. I mean, look, we're all dealing with the human condition, you know, and it's all of, you know, what emotionally resonates within all of us. And the thing that I love about, you know, the movie that I'm happy I feel is translating to audiences is that people are connecting with the story, and they're all in on Woody's journey. You know, you just want to see this little boy succeed, you know? So
was it for you, while you were doing it and working with a child actor, was it kind of fun to see where his journey was going to go? Well,
you know, they say the hardest thing to direct is kids and animals.
Yeah.
So maybe the next one I'll make a kid on like a dog.
An elephant.
Yeah, elephant, yeah. But anyway, no, I feel that it's the great thing about Michael Rainey Jr. is he's a special kid. You know, he has that ability. He's like an old soul, you know, and he really is wise beyond his years. So with Michael, he's a very good listener, which is a big part of acting. And it's not so much what he's saying in the film, it's everything he isn't saying and how you see it affect him. You know, I was just really fortunate. I mean, Michael's first movie he made, he was 9 years old, and it was an Italian film. And they found him in Staten Island, New York, and they flew him to Italy and taught him fluent Italian. So the kid in his very first movie at age 9 is acting and emoting in Italian. He's like a little alien.
That's crazy. And when he grows up, he's going to be super weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, Love is such a great film, and after the festival, where's it going next? Like, how can people find out more about Love?
I mean, we're really, really fortunate to this company Indomina is releasing the film theatrically October 5th. And the film will get out, and it'll be a platform theatrical in which they'll release 10 major American cities. And, you know, I'm just really, really fortunate. And then after that, it'll roll out on DVD. And then a year after the DVD, it'll be a BET exclusive film, which I'm really super happy that the film is a part of the new regime, the new movement at BET. And so, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Sheldon, for chatting with me. And I'm so excited for the film it's playing again tonight.
Yeah. It's playing again tonight, 4 o'clock. And I'm really curious. So if Timberlake is number 1 that you'd stalk, who comes in at 2?
Michael Fassbender.
Whoa, really?
Think about it. Not at all.
Just right there. Just go Mike.
And then Gosling.
And then Gosling. That's a serious list.
Oh, I've got it.
You'll do like federal time for stalking those 3.
They know it's coming.
They know it's coming. Good Lord. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Cool.
That was great.
Yes.